So just to make ourselves comfortable, I'd like to think that everyone managed to have his or her breakfast. Unless I'm wrong, we have some coffee here will be served later. But I'm supposed to facilitate today and all the way to Friday's activity. If you have a copy of the workshop agenda, it's pretty set as far as what we're used to. It's set on paper, but with the internet and all that, we will be surfacing things that collectively we could probably appreciate that things are happening as if so much information is coming, and the problem that comes up at some point when it comes to technology is how much information we could really manage. But okay, just to go back to last night there was a lot of sharing. Actually, I really appreciate the diversity of ideas, initiatives, library projects, and I'm really amazed at how when people come together physically as well as online, they could do something much bigger than anything that's big enough from a single effort. And well, we just used up a lot of time last night sharing, and I would have wanted to extend that if there's still some of you who would like to share a local knowledge initiative on a personal as well as institutional basis. And there anyone else would like to share? No one else would like to share? I'd like to share. Okay. Let me just pull out something that's meaningful to me because it's part of my childhood, and it connects to where I grew up. And this is something I'd like to tie in when we reach that part about fundamentals of discovery, which should be happening right now. Okay. It's in a box which I put together. If we were to play a game that's similar to, it's called Pinoy Henyo, right? Okay. If there's something here that you'd like to guess, I would like to encourage people to guess what it is by shouting. You don't have to yell, volunteering a question. Okay, by turns. Okay, what it is. Some of you will couple what I gave this baseline activity that I've put together. It's for you to ask questions, so I could give away what it is. It's really a noun, actually, obviously. But as you will find out later, the internet is less and less of a noun and more of a verb. You should be able to figure that out as we go along. A lot of those things will be covered by our resource persons. But although I'm supposed to be setting goals, I'd like to note that the keynote that was presented earlier pretty much disclosed to everyone what to expect. But I'll show you anything of this sort. There's always that personal agenda that we'd like to meet, okay? Because otherwise it won't be fun. The last part, which is last day, which is on Friday, we'll be doing something. If you have a copy of that agenda, we'll be doing something physical outside of the campus. It's a walk. Yeah. I don't know if you've read or heard about that, but it's supposed to be a tour, which has some sort of twist there. I'm actually excited to be part of that. I only heard about that, and they say from feedback online that it's something you should embrace. Okay. Okay. So I'm giving 5 questions to figure out what's inside. Two there is it's a matter of local knowledge. It's very personal to me, and it will disclose part of how I grew up. I'll explain that in a little bit. First question.
Is it a toy?
It's a toy. No. Hold on. I could answer maybe, but I'm supposed to give a yes or a no. But to simplify the process, it's not fun. Okay? It's not fun. Okay. We're down to 4. Yes.
Is it a souvenir?
Souvenir. Yes and no. Is that allowed? Yes, now, right now. If I give this away, it's going to be a souvenir. Okay? But let's keep it at that. It's not a souvenir. Not yet. Okay, you're down to 3. What should be the background music? That's the wrong background music. Okay.
Is it a seminar kit?
That's a very interesting question. How I wish, this is different from traditional seminar kit, but this is good. I like it actually. You like it? Yeah, it's a local. But it's not. It's not a seminar kit. But you're giving me ideas for future workshops, perhaps. So we have 2 more. Yes.
Is it a small bar with a message?
Wow. That's so specific that I'm tempted to say yes. But it used to be a box with cards inside, which I translated into a container for this little thing. It's part of my local knowledge, the connection to my childhood. Okay. But yes. Is that the last? This is the last question. Right? Looks like, quiz cards, but no. Okay. So you're down to 0, which means I'll have to disclose what it is. It's made of 3 items. Okay. Natural. Natural items. You put them together. Okay. It's what older folks are so fond of doing. Yeah. So in a way, you could consider that old folks' toy. You stretch of imagination. But actually, it's something that it's not. They say it's not. What is the beetle? But for convenience, people call this beetle nut. But it's something areca or something like that. Yeah. It's the scientific name. But so finally, you have the lime or apple. See, you could stretch the apple to a pop word. If someone's familiar with that, makapal yung apple, that means it's got strong, whatever you call it, powers of mixing with it. So there you have it. I haven't really tried this, but I was as a child, I was fascinated with how the older folks would use this. And
Did you try using it?
no, I haven't. I could. Yeah. Those who are interested in but this is, I understand this is a practice that's prevalent years and years back within Asia, not just where I come from, which is Cavite, but it's disappearing. People just know what it is, especially when it turns red, and I just know that. Okay. So there you have it. I just managed to squeeze in a short time to share my childhood and the local knowledge that I'm so personally invested in. This is something that I started as early as to talk about how this thing started. My love affair, if you will, with technology, and our first resource person could attest to that. But okay, just to cover as much ground as I can as far as objectives are concerned. Just look at keywords here. Some schools here have solid service learning practices, and you institutionalize that as well. But the challenge here is for us to be able to blend e-learning, face-to-face, as well as online. Incidentally, we have where broadcasting was happening right now to the web, We're using Ustream.tv. And it's something that I was forced to do because I posted this on Facebook, and a Filipina based in Germany saw the value of what this workshop represents. And so she insisted that she be part of this. And she's part of this. I just don't know if she's logged on already, but she knows the link already. And it's there. If there are other people somewhere else who stray into this channel and would like to be informed, then we should be ready to respond and give them the little context that's available to them. But the point here is, it's not really the technology, it's really how people could connect via something that they are passionate with. I'd like to assume that everyone here is passionate about education. Otherwise, we should be in a boardroom discussing how to maximize shareholder wealth and all that. So, again, just to take note of the fact that we're blending service learning as well as e-learning, and I set up a class online for this workshop, and I will be showing you the link so that you could be enrolled. I've actually set up schools, virtual schools, for your schools. Even if you have your own, at least for purposes of this workshop, you get a flavor of how to manage a learning management system, to put together something like this on a blended phone. And get some materials uploaded there, whether it's video, audio and all that, PowerPoint. If you notice, in the initial survey that we sent out to you, there was a focus on, we were requesting that you use a Gmail account. Yeah. A matter of disclosure, I'm not a stockholder of Gmail, but it's an option that's really powerful, yet it's free. I also have a Yahoo account. I have Hotmail, the first email account that I still use it, just in case Gmail shuts down. But point here is technology is the easy part. It's just difficult because we get overwhelmed, and the kids now really know more than we do. I'm sure you have stories on how we struggle with how come you know that? You have to run through a course in Photoshop, for example. We're just so good at it. And our role here is to really, rise up to the challenge of making real-world connections, as a service learning, connecting content to the real-world problems. Actually, hopefully, be part of a small part, if you will, of a solution. And that's going to be again somewhere down the tail end of the workshop. We should be able to sort out something and develop our own. Even respectively, when we go back to our institutions, our own models, reference models for blended service e-learning. So, any questions? I'd like I encourage you to interrupt me. If you notice the way we structured, this is still not optimal, but we need to have something like this. It's still classroomy, although this is a good start. Because technology is really about connections, face-to-face, all around. That's why I was asked if I needed a, what do you call it, network? And I chose not to get one because it forces people to take the traditional role just to listen. But I'd like to listen more than you do listening. If you have some questions, you have some doubts, just raise them. I will entertain a few questions by turns. And as far as expectation setting from my end, I'm sure you have your own. Typically, if you have an e-learning way of doing that, you start with the first activity as a survey again, but we started already with the